Hello and welcome to Big Orbit's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and today I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the past 7 days. The first lot of support has finally been shown for Royal Paladin in BTO3. We have the first grade 3 for them, Gifted Knight Emrys. His skill is Active Hand. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, cost counter +1 and discard a card. Search your deck for up to 2 Gifted Knight Emrys, reveal them, put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. Choose up to 2 cards from your hand, call them to Rearguard Circle. This being a single R grade 3 with no gift is really disappointing, but he is clearly supposed to be used as a rearguard, which can be brought out early. It is very nice for early pressure, but you will most likely want 3 of this card in your deck, if any, which could cause a problem with the lack of gifts. Espergull is a grade 2 with 9000 power and auto rearguard circle. When your other rearguard is placed on rearguard circle due to your card's ability, this unit gets plus 3000 power and boost until the end of turn. Due to Alan, Conjurer of Mithril, Akane, and both current Alfreds, you should be able to pull this card off so long as Royals get the counter charges for it. We can expect the new Alfred to have some superior calling too. Shift Gull is grade 1 that has auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. When placed, costs discard a grade 1 or less card from your hand and draw a card, and this unit gets plus 3000 power until the end of the turn. This is good for early hand fixing, which makes it good how it works on Vanguard Circle as well, but apart from that, I'm not sure how likely this card will be used other than for its art. Lastly, for Royal Paladin, we have Blaster Blade as an SP, which basically confirms that Monarch Sanctuary Alfred will work with him if there was any doubt. Ravenhaired Ezel is a VR for Gold Paladin, and is crazy how good it is. He has Act Hand. If your Vanguard is Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel, cost counterblast 1 and ride this card as stand. This allows for even more early rides, which you can get potentially 2 Axel circles when your opponent is at grade 1. He also has Auto Vanguard Circle when placed. If Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel is in your soul, cost counterblast 1. Until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 15,000 power and plus 1 critical, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand. So, your opponent is at grade 1, you ride to grade 2, Superior Ride Ezel, Superior Ride Ravenhaired Ezel, you get 2 Axel gifts, you gain a crit, power and guard restrict, and then I guess you just win. This is the ultimate aggro deck at the moment. It may be the thing to truly beat Oracle Think Tank in the meta, but it will probably be beating most other protector decks with how fast it is. Crimson Lion Beast Howl is a grade 1 RR with auto rearguard circle at the end of the battle that it boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, cost counterblast 1 and put this unit into your soul. Draw a card, call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. Filling the soul is very useful for Gold Paladin as they currently have a fair bit of soul blasting. Also, it continues the attacks without changing the amount of cards in your hand, and the attack doesn't even need to hit. Flamewind Lion Wonder Ezel is a RR grade 2, and a way to make Ezel more consistent. His first ability is Act Vanguard Circle, cost Soul plus 1 and retire a Crimson Lion Beast Howl on Rearguard Circle. Search your deck for up to 1 Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel, ride it as stand and it gets -1 drive until the end of the turn. Shuffle your deck. So now you have 2 conditions to get Blonde Ezel out early, and the -1 drive doesn't hurt at all if you have Ravenhaired Ezel in your hand, as his ride will override the -1 drive. His second ability is also Rearguard Circle. When placed, you may call a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle. This can help activate cards like Dindrain, which being able to countercharge in the main phase will help Gold's combo sooner. Charge Gull is a grade 1 for Gold Paladin. It only has 7000 power and its skill is Auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. When placed from hand, this card gets plus 5000 power to the end of turn. This isn't a very good card, but what is special about it is it was one of Garmor's original cards, and we will be seeing Garmor later on. Direct Gull is a grade 2 with auto rearguard circle. When your Vanguard is placed, if this unit is in your front row, cost counterblast 1, choose up to 2 or lower cards from your hand and call them to rearguard circle. If you call 2 cards, draw a card. This could actually prove to be a pretty good unit as a huge speed buff while riding Ezel early on. The drawing after the call does hurt this card a bit, but you are calling 2 for the price of 1, so I can see some use in this card. Knight of Energetic Steel Blenius is a useful grade 1 with auto rearguard circle. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed, put this unit into your soul, draw a card and call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. I can imagine the 3 of this working in a deck as you aren't really losing anything from activating this skill. It also helps Knight of Strength Belenus, who is a grade 3, that has continuous rearguard circle. If 4 or more rearguards were called during this turn, this unit gets plus 20,000 power. Blenius should be able to help make this skill a bit more reliable with recycling himself, and you don't need to worry about Blenius surviving a turn to activate the skill so long as you can superior ride an Ezel during your turn. Gold Paladin's most likely only RRR is Great Silver Wolf Garmor. He's grade 3 with continuous Vanguard circle. If you have 1 or less cards in your hand, all of your rear guards cannot be attacked nor retired by your opponent's card abilities. This is very situational, as you're never going to want to get that low of a hand, and even when you do, most of the focus will come towards your Vanguard at that point. His second ability is Auto Vanguard Circle when placed, cost +1, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, call a card from among them to rearguard circle, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and 6 of your units get plus 3000 power until the end of the turn. This is a good part of his card, but with it only working on Vanguard Circle, it won't be seeing much play in an Ezel deck, and it seems a little weak to be its own deck at the moment, but hopefully Garmor will see some love in the future. Knight of Exhaustion, Azirus, is a grade 2 with Auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle when placed from hand, cost, discard a card from your hand, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, call up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard's grade from among them to Rearguard Circle, and put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. He's not exactly Vivian, but because of Vivian's cost, she is taking away precious resources. And although you don't plus with this card, you do activate abilities, and it's a good use of Blonde Ezels in your hand once you've rode Raven-haired Ezel. Knight of Counterattack, Digyrus, is a grade 1 with continuous rearguard circle. If it's the turn other than the turn this was placed, this unit gets plus 3000 power. This is not a great ability, especially in such an aggro clan. We also have Knight of Civilization, Villegas, who is a grade 2 version of the same card. Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster is a grade 1 for Nubatama. He brings a similar playstyle to old Nubatama with Auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle when placed, cost, discard a card from your hand and draw a card. If your Vanguard is Shura Stealth Dragon Kujikiri Kongo, then cost Soul Blast 1, your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards, returns it to their hand, chooses a card from their hand, and discards it. Before I get into this skill too much, I will also go through Shura Stealth Dragon Kabuki Kongo. He's a grade 2 now, and has Auto Rearguard Circle when placed. If your Vanguard is Shura Stealth Dragon Kujikiri Kongo, this unit gets plus 3000 power until the end of the turn. Then cost Counterblast 2, return all of your opponent's rearguards in the same column as this unit to their hand. Your opponent chooses the same number of cards from his or her hand as the returned cards and discards them. At the moment, the discarding just seems like a weaker retire skill, as it's combined with the bouncing, but it all makes sense with the grade 3 Shura Stealth Dragon Kujikiri Kongo, who is a double R with Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. If your opponent's hand has 4 or more cards, cost Counterblast 1, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. This is the only card so far for Nubatama that we've seen that straight up just make your opponent discard, with no other side effects. He also has Auto Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rearguard is returned to the hand due to your card's abilities, your opponent call cards with the same grade as the returned card's grade until the end of the turn. This is where Dreadmaster and Kabuki Kongo really make the deck work, as you reliably get guard restricting every turn, though Kabuki Kongo does have a big cost. Neonectar are going to be hurt by this, as there's a good chance one of the tokens will be bounced, meaning that Neonectar players wouldn't be able to guard with grade 0s. One very useful grade 1 is Stealth Rogue of the Night, Sakura Fubuki. He has Auto Rearguard Circle when placed. If you have 3 or more units, cost, discard a card from your hand. This unit gets plus 3000 power until the end of turn. If you have 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, draw a card and countercharge 1. With Kabuki Kongo costing Counterblast 2, the requirement of 1 or less is a lot more useful than the other clan's version that would need no face-up damage, which also makes this seem like this will be Nubatama's only countercharger in the set. Stealth Rogue of 1000 Blades, Oboro Sakura, is a grade 2 with Auto Rearguard Circle when placed. If you have 3 or more units, cost Counterblast 1, this unit gets plus 6000 power until the end of the turn. And if you have 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, Soul Charge 1. This is less useful than Fubuki, but with a bigger power boost. Luckily, checking the damage happens after the counterblast, so you can manipulate it to get everything in the skill. Another Murakumo turned Nubatama unit is Stealth Fiend Oboroka. He's a grade 1 with Auto Rearguard Circle when placed, cost, discard a card from your hand and double the power of your grade 3 or greater units in the same column as this unit until the end of turn. This doesn't seem like the most useful skill at first, but in the Congo deck, it could really make a difference when combined with the guard restricting. His second ability is Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle that it boosted, cost Counterblast 1 and return this unit to your hand. This both allows you to use it again and semi-refunds the cost of the first ability, but in the Congo deck, it could be a little costly with the Counterblast. Nubatama's Forerunner is Stealth Dragon Magatsu Wind, their heal trigger is Stealth Fiend Zashiki Hime, and their draw trigger Perfect Guard is Stealth Beast Ijingakure. Rhombus Magus is a RR for Oracle Think Tank. She's a grade 2 with Auto Rearguard Circle when it attacks. If you have a Vanguard with Magus in its card name, until the end of the battle this unit gets plus 5000 power, and if your Vanguard is grade 3, your opponent cannot intercept. It isn't the most interesting card, but it is good for Magus to have some strong grade 2s for Pentagonal Magus. Briolet Magus is another grade 2, she has Act, Rearguard Circle, cost, Counterblast 1, and rest 2 rearguards in the same column as this unit. Draw a card, and one of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 power until the end of turn. You can replace her afterwards, but the skill isn't really worth it unless there's a way to stand units back up during the main phase. It is disappointing as she has some of the nicest art in Magus. Semi-Lunar Magus is a grade 0 with Act, Rearguard Circle, cost, Counterblast 1, and put this unit into your soul. Look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put them on the top of your deck in any order, and draw a card. She replaces herself and stacks the deck, but people are always reluctant to use a grade 0 that isn't a trigger or starting Vanguard. Lastly for Oracle Think Tank, we have Phoenix Wings Miko Chizuru. She's a grade 2 with Auto Rearguard Circle once per turn. When you draw a card, cost Counterblast 1, and until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and boost. This is going for a similar play as Wheel Crane, gaining power from drawing, and if you decide to use it, you should have enough countercharging in the deck to use it consistently. Dragon Dancer Regina is a Narukami grade 1 with Act, Rearguard Circle. If your opponent has 1 or less rearguards in their front row, cost, put this unit into your soul, and 3 of your rearguards get plus 5000 power until the end of the turn. Seems you're getting your power worth out of her, spread out, and the fact that she's filling the soul really helps the deck. Elect Chase Draco Kid is a grade 0 with Auto Rearguard Circle. When an attack hits during the battle that it boosted, cost, retire this unit. Choose a rearguard in your opponent's front row and bind it. No counterblast cost for removing a unit is actually really good, but yet again it suffers from being a grade 0, so this probably won't see much use, unfortunately. We also have Malevolent Jin and Dragon Dancer Katharina as triggers for Narukami. Finally, we get to see Clipping Deleter Evo. He will be making an appearance as a promo. His old version was an interesting card, being the first Superior Calling card that Deleters received, and Superior Calling eventually became a normal thing for them, so we may see something similar this time around. And that is everything for this week. We have seen cards from all the different clans in BTO3, which was nice, though some more than others. Nubatama and Gold Paladins got a lot of support this week. Gold Paladins VR is pretty crazy, but how reliable it will be is hard to say right now. But that is everything from this week. Be sure to check out next week, and we'll probably see the new Alfred card next week, so look out for that. And let me know your feelings on the new cards. So I hope to see you then. Bye.